Okay, couldn't get any sound a while ago. Okay, one, two. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome and thank you for joining me tonight on Talking Sip, another Saturday night. Uh, Today is the 30th of April, 2022. Hope you're well. Hope that I'm very clear. Sound is good and looking really good. Everybody looking sharp. Um, I'm having my nice Jamaica cup. I'm having some tea tonight. Having some nice tea. Today I spent a lot of time today doing a lot of campaigning for the election which is coming up in the next couple days, the 5th of April, local government elections. So I was out there doing some leafleting, and then at the same time I was doing some gardening because Monday is a bank holiday, and when the bank holiday is out, everybody is ready to do some gardening, landscaping, or whatever like that. Just getting into things, opportunities that come sometimes to, what should I say, take care of yourself. You know, take care of yourself is really good at times. Taking care of yourself in regards to taking care of your home, um, doing little bits and pieces, as we would say, some DIY at the same time. DIY is always good to do. Um, yeah, I consider it very motivational. I was in the park, very fit, nice day, some great walking, great talking, great exercising, and really ready for the world. And that is something that we all should do. You know, when we had the lockdown and lockdown period was with us, one of the things that a lot of people did was doing things that they could not do or never had time to do during the course of the lockdown. They never had time to do certain things, and during the lockdown, they were able to do it, right? Able to do it. And one of the things that I always say is that the things that you were able to do during the lockdown, to try to keep doing it. Yeah? Try to keep doing those things. The things that kept you sane, keep the same. The things that kept you sane, keep the same as much as possible. And to make sure you are in a mode called a boost mode. And that boost mode effect is whereby you um, do the things that will keep you safe. Simple, that's what it is. Activate yourself. Well, tonight, as you can see, the topic tonight really is something which has been going around, and was trying to decide which was the key topic to do tonight. Um, First one is really Elon, Twitter, free speech. That's what Elon Musk says. I want to give free speech. I want to give an opportunity so people can able to express themselves. Um, isn't that something we have been talking about for a while? That's something we've been talking about during the lockdown period. People wanted to say certain things. As a result of that, that's why we're on YouTube. Because before, we weren't on YouTube, we were on Instagram. But when people want to share their views or share their thoughts or different perceptions, different persuasions, we were shut down. And I never forget one time while we were doing a show, and right in the middle of the show, while people were talking and talking about different things, about the vaccine and all those, we can't say those words now, and you just saw like a hand literally came in, and actually shut down the show, you know, literally shut down the show. And so we had to move on YouTube in order to, if we are shut down, the platform that I use, I'm able to control it. And that is something that was happening, right? So let's see what it is about with Elon Musk, and let's see if we can take that further. The second topic also was about Kamina stands firm. A play on words there for based on the politics. But if you have been following certain things in the news of recent days, and I'm going to use it from this point, when Prince William and Kate visited Jamaica, the Prime Minister said, "We're moving on." Yeah, uh, some different persons like Delana Franklin was my guest last week Sunday night said, "Moving on doesn't mean say that you're moving on from the Queen." But moving on could mean anything, and the Prime Minister wasn't very explicit as to what he meant. Nevertheless, still, most people take that perception and take that, the words that he said meant removing the Queen as head of state eventually and Jamaica being a republic. That's what I understand. That's what I believe most people understand. Okay? But at the same time, it wasn't very specific and very declaratory. Then all of a sudden, Kamina Johnson, who is the minister, Kamina Johnson Smith, Honorable Kamina Johnson Smith, who is the Minister for Foreign Affairs, has put her hat in the ring to run against incumbent Barney Scotland, for the Commonwealth Secretary General. Yeah, the Secretary General for the Commonwealth. Now, that is very interesting, because I was saying, hey, come on, you're actually trying to get away from the Queen, but you're getting back involved with the relics of the past. Nevertheless, still, so I was a bit apprehensive about it personally and say, come on, why are we going down this particular route? Why are we going down this road? But word came through that Barney Scotland is actually saying to Kamina Johnson, stand down, stand down, stand down. And I say, hang on a second, what do you mean by stand down? It's a democratic process. Anyone can put their act in the ring. Apparently, there was a third person who was in the ring, but they came out for some reason. Now, because she's saying stand down, I'm saying I don't like these sort of things, which is called what we call it, convention. That's what they say. It is a convention. These conventions are there, as far as I'm concerned, to ensure that the democratic process is not alive and rich, even though at the same time it may be deemed as democracy, a form of democracy where persons in the background agree as to who is going to take over a position. Chair of political parties association, that's another thing as well. Stand down, Hey Scotty, how are you doing? Hey D, how you doing? Peace out, peace out. It's always important. What are you drinking? Those on Instagram, Marcus and Vita, bless you. And remember to like and share and to come in on the show at some point later. So she said, stand down. So we're going to talk about that really, because I believe that once she touched a chord to say stand down, I'm saying, hey, Kamina, stand firm. But she's Labour, Silver. She's a Labour person. How can you say stand firm? Stand firm, Kamina. And the third thing, the crazy killing of these 4 family members in the UK. 4 family members. These persons, in Bermondsey, London. Family of 4. A daughter, sister, a mother, grandmother, apparently. No, a grandmother, granddaughter, mother of the granddaughter, daughter, whatever, and the man who was a partner were killed by some guy. Yeah. We're all saying it's a Jamaican family. It's a Jamaican family. But apparently the guy is, it doesn't matter where he's from, but apparently St. Lucian and killed them dead. Killed them dead. All pronounced dead on the scene. So we put a topic there tonight to say that is it a trigger? What are these triggers that cause these things? Were there some signs? Were there signs that were overlooked? Late Sasha. Were there signs that she saw and overlooked? I got more information later coming up. Because someone who is very close to the family, someone who's actually, the young lady who died was a flower girl. She was a flower girl. the lady who died, was a flower girl at her wedding. She's gave me some information, which I'll share tonight as well. Um, what are these triggers? What are these triggers? What are these triggers in relation? Is it mental health? Or do we call mental health as a sort of cop out, or is it the man just bad? Sometimes they call it P feelings. The word P feelings, P dot 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 Y feelings. That is whereby if you're gonna leave me, no man can get you. Only me can get you, and stuff like that. And many women, unfortunately, have lost their lives because of the P feelings. If you know what I'm trying to say. I'm politically correct, the words that I use. And I'm sure my guests later, they can actually break it down a bit more. It is very interesting days. And it's not just men who have these triggers, it's also women. We're seeing in the news today many cases of women who somewhat are, advocates of domestic violence, means to say they're perpetrators, you know. And I use allege persons in the news. We're talking like Will and Jada, who it is. Many people are saying Jada, Will, whatever, or Jada, Amber, and my guy there from Pirates of the Caribbean, named just slipped me. Triggers. What are these triggers? What are these things that create problems? What is the thing that trigger violence? But even if you don't, you catch Qualcomm and you also catch Qualcomm shot. You catch Qualcomm and you catch the shot at the same time. Going to town, crazy, totally crazy, ladies and gentlemen. And one of the things that I saw in the news as well is the premier of British Virgin Island called with his pants down, man. Yeah, called with his pants down. Jugs, deals, top guy. One will say, hey, it's the same part of this government, linked with this government of the UK. In recent days, ladies and gentlemen, in the UK, you have MPs standing down because of watching porn on their phone in the House of Commons. Stand down. Where else would that happen? Where else would that happen? Would that happen in Jamaica? If an MP is caught with his phone watching porn? Is it illegal? Is it ground to step down? Well, he stood down. The whip was removed as a Conservative MP. Boris Johnson is still standing in the UK here as well. And also the Jamaica 68. Jamaica 68 is on the move. That is for those who know about 68th year of independence. Of course, it's not a topic for tonight, but what is independence? What is there to celebrate? But it's always good to have a party. Maybe it's a party occasion. You know what I'm saying? And all these different factors. Let me put up the link for the show. For anyone who want to come into the show tonight, you can, as I always say, that guests are not invited. Guests just need to invite themselves. Right, Scotty? Guests just need to invite themselves and just come straight in. Don't have to be getting a special invitation to come on. And that's one thing. Well, November the 5th, what's happening in the UK here now, we got the local government elections. That is whereby there is the local issues. Local issues are very important. Local issues is something that people sometimes look at local issues as what should I say? A marker for the big issues. A marker for the big issues. But always say local issues should remain as local issues. You have good leaders, good MP, good what should I say, councillors in a local area who are there deal with the issues for the street, the sleeping policemen, the LTN. Those are stuff which is happening in the UK. But guess what? Unfortunately, it's more going to be like a referendum on Boris Johnson. I guarantee you, it's more referendum on Skirt Gate. It's more referendum on Partygate. It's going to be more referendum on another thing. What should I say? On was it Skirt Gate, Partygate, Brexit Gate, and all these different things. But there's something else. There's something else. I'm moving from different things which is coming in my head. There's something else, and I did post it on Facebook today because I do recognize that Jamaica has some brilliance. Yes, brilliance of minds that they're always snatched up for the international era. Snatched up. Jamaica brilliant, second to none. I had to say that, but could it be the nation lost or benefit? Because of recent days, Chris Tufton will serve as chairman of the Commonwealth Health Ministers Forum, right? Chris Tufton, the Minister of Health, Mr. Vax, will serve as chairman of the Commonwealth Health Ministers Forum. Big job. Kamina Johnson, focusing on campaign for Commonwealth, Secretary General, Minister of Foreign Affairs, right? Nigel Clark, Minister of Finance, is positioned in another position as well, an international position. And Dalvaz as well is positioned in some big international sphere. And I do wonder, of course, I'm Jamaican. People say, they're Jamaican. We are talking about these things here. So who's running Jamaica? Even the Prime Minister is out of Jamaica as president. Who's running Jamaica? With the time that they have to handle all of these different things. Who is running Jamaica? Well, I believe Andrew Holness is very equipped to have persons in position. He's got a young, vibrant team, and I believe he's able to somehow to position persons. But the perception again, is it? What do you think about that? That's a big thing. Brilliance, the brilliance of minds are Jamaicans as well. So what are you drinking? Let me know what you're drinking, ladies and gentlemen. I'm having nothing hard today. Just having some lemon and honey. But also I do have some concoction. This is something very special, which I'll speak about later. Always have to have something very wicked and something cool and something special, at the same time. Let me just look at this. And so and them find some enough jugs at Jamaica, some enough jugs recently. Millions of dollars that someone said, I think I see you, but your image is not there. Lots of money. And they said each time they search for the money and they keep checking the money, guess what? The money keep going down. I'm sure that's just a joke, Jamaicans always run these jokes, as well. Lester, I think you'll have to come back in because I think I saw you Jamaica. Hey Corey, how are you doing, buddy? Jen Love. Yeah. I think you may have to come back in because nothing was there for a second. Let me see if I can. Where is it? But we 1 second. Lester, sorry, Lester. Um, I can see a picture, but no sound. Okay. Okay. So guys, listen. Come on in. The link is there. If you want a link, just go straight to on this show. You can find the link there. You can join in. Let's have some conversation on the topic as well, and let's get cracking. I think next week actually, I'll have to have some engagement. So put on notice now that there will be a show next week, Sunday. Sunday. I'm hoping to still have an interview with Donovan Stanberry. That was regarding the book which was mentioned a week ago. Um, Donovan Stanberry, um, how trade liberalization affects independent communities in Jamaica. Let's somehow you're. Can you hear me, boss? No image. So, so that book there, how trade liberalization affects a sugar-dependent community in Jamaica, global action, local impact. That is hoping to do a show with them. Last week Sunday night, I had Delano Franklin. That's a very good show that we have. No, we don't want that one. Yeah, we had that show last week, Sunday night, last week Sunday with Delano Franklin. That was a very good show, talking about different things. Remember to watch the show on YouTube and Silburn TV, and you can find that out as well. Um, yeah, yeah. Let's nothing, boss. Nothing. Can try to wheel and come again, my selector. Wheel and come again onto the scene. You know. What can I say now? Let me see. Yeah, Russia. You have changed something on the live stream. No, nothing has changed. Everything live on direct, same way, same link. Nothing has. I think the company has maybe the platform has maybe been upgraded, or they're always stepping it up. But nothing has actually changed. We had a successful show on Thursday night. Um, Let me see what's happening. I just sent the link again. Uh, dun, 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 dun. Lister, I don't know what it is. I can see you coming, but apparently there's no image. And if I bring you in, like I bring you in now, there's no sound. Don't know if anybody else can try to come in and see what happens there. Let's see. But definitely, definitely it worked. That you got in, but for some reason, it is not happening. Dun, 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 dun. But anyway, let me just talk about this this issue with this killing in Bermondsey. No, you're not muted, boss. You're not muted. Not muted at all. Not muted. Lester, I can hear something in the background there. There's no image. You're not muted at all. Um, And you're there live. Is it the same phone you're using or what? Got to maybe try showing an avatar. Oh wow. Don't know why it is showing an avatar. Let's um, even if I even if I try to come in myself. Let me see if I try to come in myself, which I can. I want to try to come in myself and see if it works. Might get a screeching sound. There we are. Boom. There I am. So yeah, yeah. I just tested it myself, and it worked perfectly well. The thing about this incident, I was speaking to someone, and apparently they said that there was even a birthday party last night, a birthday party for the young girl who died, Sasha. Um, it was already planned, so they continued with the birthday party. And what I found out is that the man or the boyfriend who went there, apparently she said to him, this is what she said to him. She said to him, "We're breaking off, or the relationship is over." Yeah. And then he said, "Say it to my face." And I think he went over there and I think he stabbed her 12 times. And then he cut her throat at the same time. And then the grandmother was coming down the stairs and maybe with her partner, stabbed them. And another sister was in the house, the mother of Sasha, stabbed her. Four of them died there on the scene. The guy was actually locked in the house because apparently the lock was a deadlock or a thing like it, so he couldn't come out. So when the police came, he attacked them or was trying to attack them with a knife. So he was tasered and multiple tasered that they had to take him to the hospital. And they're saying even the streets now where the killing up, they had to take the persons who were stabbed on the pavement to somehow try to give them life, try to revive them or whatever like that. Yeah. And the guy's from St. Lucia, not Jamaican. Many people are thinking he's from Jamaica, but it doesn't make a difference still. So that's a sad issue, sad very occasion there. And the key thing is uh, one of the things is the triggers that cause persons to want to kill someone. These fundamental triggers. What is it? Is it that men need a space to speak, or it's just a bad man? Yeah, that's it. It's just maybe a bad man. It's not a crime of passion or just a bad man. Mental health, bad man. But at the same time, as Scotty was alluding to some time ago, um, you know, uh, bad man, gunman, killers, they do lack something. Yeah, they do lack something. They do lack. They're mentally unstable. I think we can say that mentally unstable. You know, mentally unstable means to say that there's a disorder, right? There's a mental disorder. Lester, you're in, but don't know what happened. Try another thing. Try your laptop. I don't know if you're on the road or whatever like that. Try your laptop. I tried it on my iPhone a while ago and it came in perfectly. I did a test with the same link which you have up there, and it came in perfectly. Uh, I wish somebody else would come in just to test. I don't know if Veta is around or Oneil or I think Jody might not be around. But if somebody else can come in just to check if it's actually working, which I know it's working, but just to see if they're having the same problem as you, Lester. Yeah. So it's a sad thing, and when we we talk a lot about these triggers, and I don't know what the triggers are. But one thing I know that for men, it's very important for men to be able to find. It's your system. It is your your system is telling us an avatar is there. Um, Sorry, boss. I don't know what to say about that because I just I came in a while ago and it worked perfectly. I just tested with my phone. Um, that's the most. I can only try to speak to one of the supports at the same time to see if they can if they can do something about it. But uh, the I think what you may need to let's I don't know, maybe you need to turn off your phone and start it all over again or whatever like that. That's the most thing I can actually say could be the key issue there for that. You know, but if I could ask, what would you say a person would say are some of the triggers that create problems that will there's no justification. I'm trying to find some justification. There's no justification for someone wanting to kill someone. There's clearly no justification for that. Totally no justification. Mental health or whatever, poverty or whatever like that. No justification. People just bad. Simple as that. I know one can try to trace it and say it is something in our genes from years of mental of slavery, but why is not everybody doing that? Why is not everybody killing? Why is not everybody when they break up in a relationship, um, persons can go on, you know, as well, you know. I'm just speaking to Lester at the same time, the one of the support staff, you know, as well, support for the network, um, as well. So what would people say are some of the key triggers? Yeah, I'm asking that they can't get on. I have some pictures here as well. Someone asking why they can't. Let me just drink something at the same time. We're, we're looking at Russia the other day. Russia, whereby Russia said that they are shutting down the lines, shutting down the what do you call it? Shutting down the sorry, sorry. I'm slightly distracted. I'm trying to sort out the technical thing a while ago. Yeah, yeah. Listen, I can't see. I'm here talking to one of the persons, so I'm so distracted, and they're actually saying that send the invite link. Let's see what is happening there. 1 second. Yeah, I'm trying to sort out something there. Let me. There. Well. I see. I can see Vita here. So I don't know what happened there. Let's see. Let me bring in Vita.
Well, hello, hello, hello. How you doing?
Actually, you're just confirming that there's no problem on your side, then, isn't it?
I never have a problem. As long as I have crown, I don't have a problem. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm cool. I'm cool. Um, let me just point out to Lester. Lester, Vita, can you speak to Lester and tell him what is wrong with his phone?
Lester, you need a new phone. The, the storage on your phone is completed, Lester. Either you get more storage. Let me not trouble Lester. Silver,
Okay.
who are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I was just thinking for a while that there's been an issue. That I've got the engineers working it out, but um, apparently it's something on Lester's side. I'm good, you know. I had a very good day today. I did some election campaigning, and then I did some gardening. You know,
It's campaigning for you or who?
Huh?
Who are you campaigning for?
campaigning for myself. You see, I was on a blue shirt. You know,
Okay, okay.
hang on a
So
second. Hang on
tell
a
me,
second. Hang on a second. Jesus is coming soon. Jesus is coming soon. Hold on.
Hello, guys.
hello, hello, hello. This is nice. This is not. What are you drinking?
Um, we got Malibu.
Okay, pineapple.
Yes.
Okay, there's no other way to do it. Pineapple, pineapple.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I've got a song here I need to play because of this.
Yes, definitely. We need a big welcome right here. Hey,
Keep
beautiful.
talking.
How are you doing? And it's such a pleasure to see you and talk to you.
It's
Pick
a
up.
pleasure to see you too, guys. You
It's
know,
amazing. All
everyone.
right. So we're not gonna do us the honor of introducing yourself and tell everyone who you are.
So I'm Deanne, one of the associate producers for Talking Sip, and
Nice.
the one in the background. You know. Hi,
Oh,
Scotty. Still waiting to see you. Hi, Vita. Hi, everybody. Hi, Silvern. I know it's a
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
surprise.
Hold on.
Don't do that, guy.
you know what would have happened at Reverend Bustin? If Reverend should just sign in right now, that would have just be something.
What's that?
Where are you?
Reverend.
Grace us with your presence, Gary. You know, grace us with your presence.
Well, Gary did call says that he's gonna try to make it on because he still want to have a.
Tell him no rush. Tell him no rush. It's all right. Just take it.
I know you don't want that.
Tell him no rush.
No rush. I'm not saying, guys, I'm not staying too long. I'm just calling in to test and to say hi, everyone. You know, just listening to what Silburn was saying, and I do think that our community needs a lot of support when it comes to mental health and with our young men, and it's something that seriously needs to look into.
I totally agree with you. And mental health is something, it's been a stigma in the Black community.
Mm.
And especially in Jamaica growing up, if one person have a mental issue, it's one of those situations that you whisper about it. And instead of saying psychiatrist, they used to say, what's the word they used to call the
Jamal Madhouse.
no matters, like the psychiatrist them, head doctor or something like that. But they have a name that they
Head
use,
gone. Head gone.
or head doctor, whatever. But it
No,
was
no,
one
that's a
of
song. Head gone. Mad sick head no good.
my ticket no good. But the thing about it is that it's something that I noticed in Jamaica that they don't believe in it as far as mental sickness, behavioral health, as we call it in America. I have worked 10 years in a behavioral health department as far as with the psychiatrists and the psychologists and you know, and one of the situations was that you will see I would have 30, 40 patients per day, and one of them will be a Black person, and it's an educated Black person. because, and all of it would be other nations. And the situation is that Black people do not believe in behavioral health, that mental sickness is a problem and we need to address it. The Black females are accepting the fact that, you know, their situation that we have to deal with. It's still a stigma among Black men. It's still a stigma among Black men talking about and even admitting that they're having a problem. And this is what we need to educate our male counterpart and said, look, you are a human being. You have stress just like all of us. We all build the same way. Sometimes it's good to talk to someone. I lost 3 friends in COVID that commit suicide, male, because they were afraid to talk to anyone. They were afraid to even the situation that it was so stressful for them, and they were afraid to let anyone know that, to let down their guard because of man. And it have a lot to do with our culture too. As Black men, they're taught not to cry. They don't get hugs. They don't show the love that we females show. I will hug Dion, and it's a pure sisterly love. If Silver should hug, Lester be like, what's going on, man? What are you doing? You know, so this is something that the Black men need to start standing up. A strong Black man can cry.
Yes, that is a stigma where people thinking men should not cry. I just think it's totally wrong, and a person should not be afraid to express their their emotional expression, because that is their way to release their pressure, their stress, and their tension. And I really honestly feel that people should re-educate themselves and throw some of the discrimination out the door. You know, especially in Jamaica, mental health is frowned upon, but everyone touch a bit of it at some point in their life. So it's something that we now need to address, and not just talk about it, but actually find a way to heal spiritually in regards to that aspect. You know.
Scotty said something about long-term discrimination leading up to stress, depression, cognitive disorder, leading to rage as outcome over a period of time. Vita, you're muted, not from my side. I didn't mute you. Don't swear. You're not
I
muted.
won't. I won't.
Backside, man.
You see, Gary said you're rubbing off. I am a bad influence on you, huh? Hey, Gary, you don't remember that you're from Ochi? Huh?
Ochi, come on, Ochi.
Okay, but the situation is that what Scott has said is that when you the common term that you buckle up stuff inside, that you don't speak, you don't let out your range. So when it build up, of course you get violent. Of course, you know, when you get to speak and release what's bothering you. And that's why with a psychology and a psychiatrist treatment is that what you do, you sit and you talk with someone about your problem. You have a different perspective as far as what's going on with you. Sometimes in our head we think that something is happening, and when you realize it's not as bad as it is. You know, so sometimes you get a different perspective in life. You realize, oh, it's not that bad. You know, but when you don't talk to anyone, like the killing in England, and they're saying it's ranging from the situation seems like it's ranging from mental health. Well, of course, if you're gonna kill that people, that's mental situation. You know, of course, that's a passion. They could say that's a range of passion. But the fact is that he needed help before that situation took place. He needed help that no one noticed that something was going on. And that's why I always said to my friends, and I said, listen, I might cannot financially solve all your problems, but the situation is sometimes give me a call. Let's talk. Maybe, just maybe, something might be going on where you can just take a breather. You know, like Silver, last week I saw you send a text, and just by the text you sent me, I look at the tone and I said, I called you and said, hey, take it easy, man. You know, you call a friend and said, hey, you need somebody to talk to, because that's what we do with each other. That's what we support each other. You know what I'm saying? Just to say, hey, you want to talk? Those are some of the stuff in the Black community that we are not doing.
Yeah. You see, there's another side to this whole thing as well, because if, as the story goes, as I got it straight from the horse's mouth for someone who's very close, because there was a party last night. There's a party at the house of where the killing took place, right? Because The girl named Sasha, it was her birthday today, last night. So they and there was a party which we're having, and there she is, the one there with the drink.
Okay.
Yeah, it was her. It was her birthday last night. Yep, and it is understood that the guy went and said to her, no, she said to him, "Listen, it is over." And he said,
Oh.
he said, "Say it to my face." And he went there, and when she said to him again, that's when it happened. Bam, 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 bam. The key thing is that there's one thing about mental health and him or whatever, but what about some of the triggers or some of the things that women need to look at? Signs that may have been there for them to get away.
Yeah, of course, sometimes, but Silver, I'm growing up in Jamaica. There could have been signs that you wouldn't even have noticed when I came here. And because of the type of work I do in the behavioral health, I am educated now to notice certain things, right? I can look and say, you know what, that behavior is not normal as far as the normal individual, would normally behave. And maybe she thought breaking up with him in front of people would have been easier. So even if she saw triggers, she know that she would have been saved. The guy that got killed, we grew up together. He used to make my kites every Easter. Very peaceful guy. Very peaceful guy. People were saying that why couldn't he defend? But he's not. He's one of those quiet people in the person in the community. He's not someone that violent or anything like that. He's a very peaceful individual. So for him to kill that amount of people, I am curious as far as what is it that not one person decided that I know I might get killed, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna die trying. Like so many people for him to kill. Was it at a knife? So what happened that they were so scared to even confront him? What was the situation before that they were so fearful of him? Was triggers that they know that, oh, he's a crazy person, he have done this before. I didn't look at his
He just came
background.
out of jail. He just came out of prison. I heard.
There you go.
And
There you
apparently what has happened that they're all friends from long time. That group of them, they're all friends. Even the party, they were friends of both of them was at the party as well. But it's like a maybe it's like a bad man thing or something like that. So it was they're all friends.
Well, there you go. So, and the thing about another thing in our community is that I, again, Silver, when I joke with Reverend and stuff like that, I am not a religious person, but I am a spiritual person. And sometimes the discernment, as far as when you go in someone present, you felt like uncomfortable, or you felt like, so those type of situation, I would have felt uncomfortable because that's me as far as maybe it's vibes or something, as we say in the street, it's vibes or chemistry or what is spirit or whatever. Would not agree.
I saw the light.
No, you see,
The new song now is that the new song.
just playing crowded.
He saw the light and I'm feeling the spirit.
I want to see. I want to hear some Tato Cash. Some sweet corn, because right now we're gonna need some sweet corn, because this topic is very serious, and it is an eye opener. What
It is.
caused a person to snap that quickly?
But it's something that we have to recognize the end, because what happened is that I work in a children's hospital, and I over the time of COVID, I saw we have to open a bigger space for children. We have to hire more psychiatrists and psychologists for children. You're looking at children from 5 to 14 that are committing suicide. No, what stress can a child have at that 5, 6 years old who
Well,
decided that they want to die because they don't want to, a child is like, should be the happiest person,
Well,
you know?
for me, I work with children, and I've been seeing a lot of situations where the fact that they're in the house and they can't get to interact with nature and other people, it causes an issue. Because remember, first of all, we are all social beings. Regardless of what everybody say, we need socialization. If we don't have socialization, we can't evolve into the person that we need to be. So imagine locking up children for like 2 to 3 years. What
Yeah.
do you expect the situation is going to be like? So for me, one of my biggest thing at this moment in time is how are we going to now support those children that have been locked up in the house for this time? They haven't been going to their recreational um, plays. There's not a lot of nature play out there anymore. And then on top of that, there's this new I would say epidemic in regards to the hepatitis, children getting hepatitis at a young age, and they're trying to say that it's because they've been locked up. So there's a lot more ripple effect from COVID that we're going to be seeing in the medical and also the educational and the children's departments. Whereas, are we now equipped to handle all of this? Because this was not in the books when we go to school and university. This is something totally out of what we were taught. So, I understand that we were discussing about adults, but it's more than just adults. It's everybody. At some point in time, everybody will have to look deep inside themselves and figure a way, how am I going to deal with the effects of COVID on my mental health, and how am I going to rebuild my social self and my spirituality and the whole holistic part of your being. So it is something that sadly to say, it's going to be a lot around with us for quite a couple decades. It's not just going to be a 2 year, 3 year thing. It's going to be quite a few decades.
So if I catch you right, Dan, what you're actually saying is the impact of COVID is the start of something as well.
Yes.
It is the start of a whole new how should I put it, psychological and cognitive schema that has not been explored as yet, which we will have to some point do research into how we're going to reverse the effects that it's had on people socially and cognitively. And then there are some
Lockdown. That's a lockdown thing.
yeah,
You're talking. Yeah.
and there are some people that it has affected physically, but a lot of people have not been speaking up about it because it's something practically new, and it hasn't fully been identified in society.
Well, the data is showing, because even among the children, among the doctors, the suicide went up among doctors and nurses, as far as what they have to deal with. So you're looking at the children now that's growing up into adulthood, and that's going to be another situation, a set of people who are going to be mentally damaged in the sense of they were locked down. For some children, there was a lot of domestic violence, abuse, and trauma that they have to deal with. Now, the
Yeah.
situation is that we need more social worker, we need more psychiatrists, we need more psychologists to deal with the new epidemic that's coming out. Are we equipped for that? We were shortage of, there was a lot of nurses shortage before COVID, and with COVID now, I posted a post yesterday, and what happened is that nurses, you have a lot of nurses now that are drug addicts. During COVID, they were still in and we had that before COVID, but we monitored it the minimal amount that we have. No, nurses, there's a lot of drug addicts now because they've been stealing the medication from the patient. They were ordering more and they're taking it, and now there's a lot of drug addict nurses are stealing.
Why is that? Is it to keep them going, based on the pressure?
Part of it is part of the pressure is they turn to something. So so they become addict, and sometimes they have to work longer hours. The medication keep them going.
So is there a situation where there's no outlet or no support, emotional or psychological support for these people? Why they feel
There are. Okay, so at the hospital, we here in America, so every employer provide what we call it's called EAP. So what that is, that you get free psychology, social worker, you get a free psychiatrist to go to, you get 6 different sessions, and after that then your insurance pays for it. But you do get support, you do get help. It's only you have to actually set up your meetings and go to them.
Yes.
Now, again, among the African American community, that's a stigma. Like, I'm not going to go talk to anyone about my problems. And then, not only that, what Reverend saying?
Hey, Reverend, are you coming on? We want to see you. See, I'm here. I'm here. You know, all these years I've turned up, so you have
Hello, Reverend.
Yeah. Uh, and we need to let the Reverend know that we're actually on the move. You know what I mean?
So that's a factor that's happening right now as far as the stigma. And another thing too also is that when the problem that an African American is facing is different from the problem that your white counterpart is facing. But when you do go to the psychiatrist or the psychologist or social worker, you're not gonna find a lot of African American who work in there. So it's all, most of the time is white. And some of the problems that we black are facing, they will not understand. They will not understand our culture, as far as the difference what we are dealing with. So that's another situation that we were dealing before COVID.
Yeah.
And now, if I want to go see a psychiatrist, I want somebody who looks like me, who understand my culture, who understand my problem. The fact that yes, the white person might give me a different perspective, but still they have to understand what I am dealing with, because what happened to my culture, the way I was brought up and how I deal with situation is different from how a white counterpart will deal with situation, or the resources that they have that we do not have. So that's another factor as far as racism building into the society of the black community also. Silver, it will be hard for you to find a black psychiatrist as a male to go to understand your situation as a male, what you're dealing with. You have to go talk to a white guy who
And
grew up rotten rich and don't understand your culture.
well, you just lie down on the sofa and talking to someone.
Well,
Talking.
you don't have to lie down, Silver. You can sit too.
Vita. Vita.
No,
Anyway,
you have sofa. You can sit up.
anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure being able to talk to you guys again, but I'm gonna have to dip out now. But keep up the good work. I'm so proud of you guys. And take care and have a blessed night.
Great.
See
It was
my friends, everybody. Love you guys.
Oh, I saw the
Yeah, it was a pleasure, and it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Silver, don't worry, you get us today because Lester and Jody not on the show.
Lester's having difficulties. Lester's having difficulties joining. I don't know why.
You are that guy, Silver. You are that guy.
Okay. Gary,
That guy.
we had to find Claudel Clark to welcome that, God is still alive, when this D comes on. Thank you, D.
Anyways, team, have a blessed night. I'll speak to you guys soon. Take care.
Yeah, okay.
It was
Good,
a
good.
pleasure. It was a
Thank you,
pleasure.
D. Cheers. Bye. Yes, it's a very serious issue, and while we're on a topic to look at, because when I think about this whole thing, and the fact that somebody that I know very close, is close to this person, because he even sent me a picture of herself, with the younger one, who was a flower girl at her wedding.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you always hear about these crime of passions a lot. There's a term they call it sometimes as men having P dot 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 Y feelings, because they don't say it, Vita. It is because they believe that they own the woman after. I mean to say, if me can't get you, nobody else can get you.
Nobody else will.
Yeah, and it is something that happens a lot, really. A man actually take care of a lady, pay for a school thing. You believe that is all, because we're seeing a period of time in Jamaica. A lot of that was happening, killing, but at the same time, it may be still happening, but we don't know much.
Right. And there's two sides to that, Silver. Because what happened is that as a man, when I was growing up, my grandfather always said, a man pay for what he wants. And my grandmother at one point was a stay at home. And after my grandfather died, she started working. But the fact is that his job was she would look after the home, he look after he finance, right? That was an understanding back in the days. Now, me personally, I doesn't matter how much money my husband or man make, I'm gonna go out there and make my own money.
Yeah.
But the fact is that it's one of those that we understand, demand, provide, and protect, right? So the fact that you provide for a young lady or female, you think that you owe them, that is a mental situation. That
Yes.
is a mental situation where you think you own somebody. And I always go back to the mental situation of slavery. They colonized us in a way to for us to start believing that, okay, if I do this to you, then I own you.
Yeah.
Where do you come off thinking you own someone?
Yes. Yes.
Right? If you if we're dating and you bought me a car or whatever the case, what make you think you own me?
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's out of his heart or whatever by the car, but in a way the mentality is that he's actually investing. That's a sort of terrible mentality. They're investing into you, so therefore they consider that level of ownership. It is wrong. It is totally wrong.
And that's go ahead, Sibyl.
Yeah, but the key thing is what are some of the signs I was going to say women should recognize, but not just women, but men and women should recognize when it is key time to leave or the signs are there before it's too late.
Well, again, as I say, it's two-sided.
Mm,
What as a woman, it's very important that you go and make your own. It's very important that if you decide you don't want to be with the person, do not take this money, whatever gift is giving you, in the fact that you decided that he's not somebody you want to be with. It's very empowering for me when I set a goal and then I meet my goal. Or I see a nice car and I want to buy a car, or I see something and I can afford to buy for myself. That's very satisfying. The fact that if somebody had bought it for me or paid for it wouldn't be the same satisfaction knowing I did it for myself. Where is that self-worth, self-esteem to do it for yourself? Instead, as a young woman thinking that I'm gonna get a man to do it for me. Where that came from?
yeah,
And the fact that in society now where men are killing women because I bought you this financially, I did this for you, and then you decide you want to go with somebody else, I'm going to kill you. Where is the lesson here for female to learn to say, look, if you're taking stuff from him and you don't want him, things can happen. Where
yeah,
is the situation? If you're married and you're investing together and building together, that's a whole different story. Then the court will decide who gets what. But the fact that you're dating and he decide to buy you something, if you don't want to be with the dude, then say no. That's fine. I'll buy it for myself.
yeah,
Fine. So it's that part of it to us to say, it's okay. But the mental part of it, Silburn, where men provide and protect, and when they provide, but you go to somebody else for protection,
yeah.
then they're gonna kill you.
Is mental health, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes deemed or seen to be a cop out. When I say a cop out, um, we tend to sometimes use mental health. Is that somewhat of a justification? Because by saying mental health, you're by default reducing the charges or the punishment that can come to someone because they will go into some rehabilitation place. What about them just bad? Or is that a mental disorder still?
But it's still mental, Silver. It's still a
The mental
mental
disorder.
behavior when you think like that. The normal person will not think I will not think to harm you. The first thing will not think for me to hurt you. The way we're trained is to communicate. It's okay to disagree. Even in this show, sometimes we don't agree with each other, but we
Yeah,
don't get violent and whatever. Okay, fine. You have your opinion, I have mine. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with disagreeing? Agree to disagree. What's wrong with that?
so therefore, Putin has a mental disorder.
Oh, we know that. There's no question about that. No, there's no question about that one. That's a given. That's a given for you just to want to kill people like that. I don't think it's a problem. Of course, there's a mental disorder right there.
But isn't there a mental disorder for the world leaders to be standing around and watching the wanton killing of people right before their eyes, just like what was happening in Yugoslavia, what was happening in Rwanda? Isn't there a the world is mental then, isn't it? There's a mental disorder, um, Vita.
It is. It is.
I'm just juxtaposing the both of them because
It
we
is
can
silver,
only
but
say,
here the situation with the mental part of it. They
yeah,
are mental, so they don't understand what they're doing. So they don't understand that they're doing wrong.
mm,
And that's the part of it, the mental behavioral part, when you're doing something wrong, but you do not see anything wrong with it. So the fact is that the world leaders, they sign an agreement to say, unless he do this, then we cannot. It doesn't matter how many people has been killed. Unless he do this, then we will not step in.
A
But
red
what
line. That's the red line. After they kill out,
the
why
red line
people are
after they
being
kill,
killed?
right? And what Putin is doing right now, he's getting bored with Ukraine. So what he's doing, he's trying to bring in the US, saying you're giving this type of weapon. So he's trying to bring it in the West now to say, okay, you're doing something that you crossed the line, and that's where he's going. They put sanction in what is he doing? The what's the money that he's using now? Gonna be the biggest thing.
The rubles.
The ruble is gonna be the biggest thing now. Germany have to be buying it to pay him, and how the Western countries are gonna have to do that to get the oil. Because I used to pay $30 to fill my truck. Today I spend $70.
Gary's saying it's not a mental issue; it's an attitude problem. What's an attitude?
Tell him to join us and tell us that, Silver.
Gary, you got to come in and I mean the question is, mental health is mental health. You got good health mental, you got bad mental health, isn't it? When we talk about mental, sometimes people are thinking that something is crazy with me, but really and truly, you got good mental health, isn't it? You got bad mental health. You got bad heart, you got good heart. You got diabetes, you got no diabetes. Is that what we're saying at the same time? What is attitude? let's dissect what is attitude.
Well, it's the same thing. You can have a positive attitude and you can have a negative attitude. Now, me, you know me, I always have a positive attitude. Doesn't matter what the situation is. I could lose a leg, crash in a train crash. I'm gonna still have a positive attitude. Now you have just some people just wake up and every day they just complain and they're sick or they're just everything is bad. So they have this negative situation to look at life. You know, we could look at the same thing, and it's perspective when it comes to attitude. It's about perspective. Now, look at me and Reverend. I get up and drink my Crown, and I just think it's a spiritual blessing, and Reverend just think that I'm bad by drinking. It's all about perspective.
Nah, I don't think you think you're bad by drinking.
It's all about perspective, right? So it's the attitude that you have. So the people with the bad attitude, like Putin, just decided, like, I'm upset. People treating me bad. Nobody respecting me, so therefore I'm gonna just kill people. No, that's the attitude that we don't want to do. That's a scary feeling.
Well, Gary, sorry, I'm gonna make a decision because Simone Johnson, she's in Birmingham, she's a nurse. Sorry, Simone, and Gary, she's agreed with Gary. Gary, it's an attitude makes you believe system values. Maybe it's a Birmingham thinking. Gary's in Birmingham. Simone is in Birmingham.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
She agreed with Gary. It's an attitude mixed with belief system values.
So Simone, why don't Simone join us and tell us what, as far as with the belief system, you know, because again, it's about perspective. We just said belief, right? Because again, when I mentioned that I am a very spiritual person,
yes.
But the fact that the religious part of it, where all these religious people killing each other, I never ever understand that. So I never associate myself with the type of religious, whether I'm a Christian with this church or I'm a Muslim with that or whatever. I don't understand when we are saying that we are religious, but we are killing each other. Now, if we're spirituality, it's just about love. It's just about charity. So that's why I go for the spiritual part of it. So when you say believe, is what you believe in, because you believe that killing is right.
Yes.
In the religious world, they believe that killing is right.
Attitude. What do you mean by attitude? A feeling or way of thinking that affects a person's behavior. A feeling or way of thinking that affects a person's behavior. I'm going to dissect something there. A positive attitude change your attitude. A way of positioning the body or its part, an erect attitude.
Like me, look, I sit up straight. I'm very in a positive attitude. Now look at the difference.
Yes.
I slurp down because it's in a negative way.
So when I was like this, was that slurping? I was just being chill. I was just being chill right here.
But I could say that, I'm talking to them like this, you know. So I have this attitude as far as so what, you know. But if I open my arms and I'm talking to you, it's a welcome feeling as part of a positive attitude. It depends on your belief, how you look at it. So she's right when she said believe. But we talk about belief, we have to respect each other difference in what we believe in.
So the question then is, what are some of the influences that affects an attitude? Could it be a mental disorder?
And yes, because the person that wakes up every day and is just negative, it's a situation that they see, everything they see is dark, everything they see, they don't see a bright future, they don't see the positive of situation. It is we crash. Okay, somebody cut in front of me. I was driving earlier this evening, somebody cut in front of me.
Yes.
um there are times if I'm going to work, I might say, get upset and argue. The spiritual side of me said, okay, there was an accident up the road waiting for me, but this person, the universe put this person in front of me
Yes.
to slow me down, to protect me,
Yes.
right? I could have cut the person off, or argue or speed, go around the person and speed up, and then I'll probably end up in an accident. A lot of times people cut you off on the road, and what you have a negative reaction to that.
Mm, mm.
But what about looking at it and say, oh, that person the universe want me to slow down, so therefore that person cut me off, that's positive for me.
Once, somebody said to me, Lester, I don't know if you can hear. Um, you're not muted or anything. Just your picture, your avatar. A person said to me once that if someone bad drive you, there's more of a chance that you'll never see that person again if you just pull back. Because that person could be going through something. I mean, I remember when my first son was about to be born. I were taking my wife to the hospital, and it was going crazy, man. I had to be speeding up a bit, even though the hospital was at 5 minutes away. Somebody might be thinking I'm crazy, but they don't know the situation that I'm in, and therefore, sometimes if you just pull back a bit, there's a more of a chance that you never see that person again in your life. But you can say, I'm gonna get him, I'm gonna at him. And then therefore that could create a trigger, and create this massive thing.
The
So
violent trigger, as you said. Silver, and I was driving. Lester's having a huge problem.
yeah, yeah.
I was driving with my husband. My daughter at the time was maybe 6 months old. I have to sit in the back with my husband, with the baby, while my husband up front driving. And what happened is that
She was working out, no camera. But if you're working out, that means you see your camera ready, isn't it?
if she's working on, then she is camera ready.
All right, carry on.
So we were driving, and a guy cut my husband off, and my husband decided, the road rage kicked in, and he decided to have to cut the guy back off. And I was like, don't do that, And if the situation is that it escalates where, they almost end up in a fight where gun was pulled or whatever. If I was in the car with the baby, we would have probably be dead by now. The fact is that you don't know. There's a bigger picture. Just keep it moving. It's about the perspective of how you look at situation that violent triggers. And we, as even the black man, have a lot of stuff bottling up. The black man is coming from beaten, broken for years. And it's just now that black men are waking up to say, no, we can stand up as strong men.
Yes.
And that's another thing that, okay, growing up in the black community, the fathers don't love the son as they should. I mean, they will kill for their daughters, they hug their daughters. So we as black women, we get love. Yes. We do get love. Even back in slavery where was been raped. Hey, but the black men don't get that. The black men don't get that. The black men don't get the love that they deserve. And that's where Mike is here with us.
Yeah, Mike is saying that. I've asked him if he wanted to come in. I sent him an invite.
Yes, Mike, you should join us. But yes, he said love, and that's what the black man need. The black men need each other to love each other, and that's what. Growing up, I used to see men arguing, and the elder, they call them in the community, will say, "Hey, what's going on?" And they will respect that elder in the community.
Yeah,
that's not happening anymore. As far as, black men mentoring black men and loving them, that's not happening. That's what we need to go back. We need to go back to that original love for each other. And yes, he's right. That's not happening anymore.
Simone says Belief may not always be guided by religious views, can be cultural experience driving a perspective
Oh
there.
yes, totally agree on that one.
Yeah. You know,
Totally.
I was listening to a guy the other day, and this guy, things pop up on you on TikTok and Instagram, and he's saying, "Why are we always talking about positive, positive, positive? We need to be angry. We most can be angry sometimes, you know. Whatever they have emotions, anger, this, blah blah blah." And I listened to him, and I said, "We still we are human beings who have a control over our temperament, if anything, based on our cultural upbringing. The question is, anger has a place." And I
Yeah.
think sometimes that men, unfortunately, bottle a lot of things in. And by bottling things up, there's a point where they blow. Now, it is for men to answer that in a way. Like, women sometimes always believe they got an answer for that. But I believe that sometimes men bottle a lot of things, and it is better it trickles when it needs to be trickled than for it to for it to be clogged up, because that is what I believe creates this blow. Because you always hear there was a bus driver. You remember him, Sir Clive?
Yes, I know, Sir Clive.
You know that he killed a lady in the States, didn't he? You heard about
Mm-hmm.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he killed a lady in the States because she was leaving him or something like that. I understand, and then he killed himself. And people say it was out of character. You always hear those things, out of character.
It's not
Why?
a character. He should have killed himself and leave the lady alone. If
Okay.
he's so distracted. But Silver, let me ask you a question as
Mm.
a black male,
Yeah.
positive black male, because I see you as a very positive person.
Mm.
You go through life, you're married with children, you have a job, you live in a country, different culture. As a positive male, how do you deal with sometimes negative situation come across you and sometimes situation happen where you felt like it's out of your control? How do you deal with it on a positive level?
Well, I'm a person who is very good at holding things in. That is what I'm very good at, and I am careful how I speak. Of course, in the realm of my household, they will say more about who I am than what people see. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right, right.
And because I find myself, I grew up with a very positive mental attitude, and I think that's a key thing.
Yes.
I was around a positive father, a positive mother. My sisters, we're like a happy family. Even at my father's funeral, it wasn't like a sad occasion; it was a happy occasion because
Yes.
we're celebrating him. And when we speak of him, we speak of his the joy, the love. Mark, at the same time, my dad isn't the guy that will hug you. He's not the guy that will say love you. I say that because I believe that was the key ingredient. Those were the seeds that were placed in me. And I found myself at a young age was reading book like Positive Mental Attitude. I was reading these books, and that is why when I'm walking on this and I'm talking sometime, the other day, while I was walking and talking, I said a lot of people have things which are built inside of them for years. It is like, but they need to connect to this engine which is within them. It reminded me of Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious, when you're watching the movie, they got this button. And Tyrese and Vin Diesel, they're looking at each other and they say they're going to press the button because they're at this point where they're going to press the button. But guess what? There's an engine in the car, Vita, and ladies and gentlemen. If that button doesn't connect to the engine in that car to make it go faster, that button means nothing. If there's nothing that connects it, so therefore it's like persons need to find that thing which is within them, built in them for years. But then the question is, what if you don't have it in you for years? So
But we all have it though, Silver. And the question I was asking you is that when situation that Jody, there she is. When situation sometimes
Jody.
I have a very stressful job. And sometimes there's situation that I felt like, oh, not again. But what I do, I find that spiritual part of me to look at the positive and say, what is this teaching me? I always go to that spiritual side and say, there is a positiveness. What is this lesson? What am I going to learn from this today?
Yeah.
So, and that's what I would love people to look at when you are having a situation. It's a lesson, it's something for you to learn from it. Find the positive in it. And if you
Yeah.
can't find the positive, find some crown.
Listen,
Jody,
sorry.
what
Before I
are
go
you
on, sorry,
drinking?
Jody, how are you doing?
What are you drinking, Jody?
I'm not bad. I'm not drinking Vita. I'm driving. I stopped for a moment and was still listening to you guys. And I decided that I would join. I don't know if you're hearing me because it's the first time I'm using this device. Can you guys hear me
We're
clearly?
hearing you. We're hearing you. Yes. And we appreciate you, Jody. Oh, Lord.
Oh, this one.
Oh,
Is it gone to church today? Is this because I'm not drinking?
No, it's because D came in tonight. Dion came in tonight. That's why that song came up.
Oh, okay.
That's the reality. Yeah. Yeah, I know you had a busy day today, but how are you otherwise, Jody?
I'm good. And this mental health issue is one that it's very dear to my heart. You guys have heard me talk about it more than once.
Mm.
That as individuals, one of the first things, and look, funny enough, I have to show off sometimes. I'm going to show off today now, Vito. So I did a presentation on Thursday. As a matter of fact, I was asked to do a stress management presentation for a function, right? So I'm like, all right, I've done this like a couple of times since probably 2018, 2019. So I just was going to refresh my presentation, Vito, and go. And then I get an email the day before, right, Vito, with the instructions and stuff for the function and the itinerary, the agenda. And guess what, Missy Vito? Guest
What?
speaker, Jody-Marie.
Oh,
I
yeah,
called.
she's in the house. I love it. Love it. Oh, she is frozen.
Frozen. Okay,
Come on, Jody. Come on, Jody. You're the guest speaker, the VIP in the house. What's going on with you, girl?
see, let's would have a go at her because she's driving. She's in her car.
I know. But Lester's having a problem joining us. He keep coming.
Yeah. Continue what you're saying until
Right. And you know what? I know this is something really dear to Jody as far as the positive. I know here in America there's a lot of hotline to call to speak with. All the employers provide help for the employees, so we have people to call and talk with. I am lucky as a female because I have other females I could call, cry with, and whatever the case. And Silburn, I must say, yes, I must say that with your family, I went to Jamaica and I met your sister, and we just start Reverend, pray for me, Reverend, pray for me. Pray for me. And we just start laughing. She's such a positive energy. About Jody?
Yeah, this is the reason I never use this device for calls because it's my work phone.
Okay.
So I look on the thing, Vita. I see guest speaker, right?
Oh, love it, love it.
I never plan to wear no fancy clothes. I never plan for no guest speaker kind of thing, right? And I'm like, okay, all right, fine. I'm guest speaker. All right, I need to change everything. This is like hours before, the next day, right? And I'm like, okay. Then when I look on the agenda now, I realize that I'm not just speaking to, not just to say ordinary kind of people, but I'm just not talking to a couple of young people that I thought I was talking to. I'm talking to regional directors and regional managers for heart.
yes.
And I'm like, what? I was like, no. And I pulled myself together, but it was awesome. I'll send you guys clip.
Yes, please do, Jody. Please do,
But,
because Jody, you know that you are born prepared. You are the gifted person that's always ready, and it doesn't matter what. And there's a positive message, so it doesn't matter if it was 1 hour before the time that you have to speak. You would have still pull it off.
Well,
And that is where you talk about. That is where you talk about something is inside of you. It's already built inside of you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah. But why I brought it up though, guys, is that it was on stress management, right?
Mhm.
And one of the things that I made very clear to people is that sometimes we're not very honest with ourselves. I heard Silborn talking about how men bottle things up.
Mhm.
It's because of how they were taught. and society and trying to keep up with the Joneses or trying to live a certain life in the eyes of other people. And I have become, Vita, you hear me talk about it already. There is a sense of liberation that is within me that,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. You could have mother, father, brother, sister, picnic. It doesn't matter. You could be the president of a country. You could be the ruler of the world. I don't care who you are. If I am not living my truth, if I cannot say to myself, okay, I'm comfortable in this situation, then me go walk away, leave it, Vita.
Yes,
You
yes,
understand?
yes,
Because
yes,
you have
yes.
to know within yourselves. And many times we fool ourselves and we tell ourselves a lot of foolishness. The negative self-talk, right? That, oh, it's going to get better. Oh, him not gonna do it again. Or maybe me go pray for him. Church people have said this. Yes, enough church people in enough
Yes,
people in the
pray for,
church.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, me I tell you the truth.
Jody,
A
Jody,
lot of
Jody,
people in the church
they tell me I
hide
need 10
under
church,
the
Jody.
idea. What was that?
They tell me I need 10 churches.
No, you don't need no 10 church, Vito. What you need to know is that you have a relationship with God. If you believe in God or Buddha or Jah Rastafari or whoever you believe in, right? Once you have that spiritual connection, right?
Mm-hmm.
With whomever you believe, whichever spiritual being you believe in, and you have that connection and you know your heart is pure, you don't have to pay nobody, no church people, no man. And one of the things that the church has taught us to do is to sit down in a corner and pray and say, okay, it is going to get better, my sister. I'm praying for you. That does not solve the situation. You
Thank you.
understand? And
Thank you.
while we have faith, faith without works is dead, right? And if
God,
you're going to
God
draw,
loves
if you're
those.
going to draw the Bible on me, I'm going to draw the Bible back on you because I have studied the Bible since I was 12 years old coming up. That's years of experience, right? Of going through the book and applying it to my life. So when you tell me about being practical, God asks none of us to be perfect, Vita. None of us requires to be perfect. He says that we've all come short,
Of the
right?
glory of God.
We have all sinned and
Amen,
come
Vita.
short
You
of
know
the
the word,
glory of
Vita.
God, which means nobody is perfect. Not one man on this earth is perfect, which means that all we have a problem, all we have is struggles, all we have is trials. But understanding that you must understand who you are first, right? You
That's true.
must understand who you are and be true to yourself about it. I tell people all the time, I know the good, the bad, and the ugly about me. And there's nothing somebody who comes into my life can tell me new about Jody-Marie.
Thank you, Jody. Thank you.
Nothing new that anybody comes into my life can tell Jody-Marie about Jody-Marie. You can't touch me upon my ears and say, oh, you didn't know that this stimulates you or that does that to you. No, you can't tell me that from me.
We
Don't
already
explore
know
about self
that.
already. I already know that, right? And so what each person need to do, Vita, and this is a very sad situation, but it is a very good mirror of a lot of what is going on. I think one of the emotional issues and one of the mental issues that I think is going to come out of COVID is the fact that a lot of persons' relationship was based off show and tell, right? And so what happened when they were locked down together now consistently for a long period of time? People were meeting their real spouses for the first time.
Yes, yes.
They were meeting their real spouses for the long time because after dating, when you're dating, you only see each other go and come unless you live in a one of them weird relationship where people just meet and move in, which I've known persons who've done that. And trust me, their relationship is more real than those who put up this wonderful facade that they have the perfect relationship, right? So they are meeting their spouses for the first time. They meet, they date, then they decide to get married before they move in, or they move in a little before they get married. So they don't really get to know each other. You leave gonna work, me leave gonna work. We come back, and the only thing that unites us in the evening, it might be the kids that's doing homework or the dinner that's on the table, and there's no real conversation. There's no real situation that meets us that we have to deal with each other 24 hours a day. Because if I feel like escape, I'm gonna take a drink with my friends them. Or you need to go escape and you go to the rum bar or go play football or whatever. That's how we deal with the situations before. But when you're locked down with this person now for 24 hours, you can't go nowhere, you can't escape, you just don't quarrel, and you can't go nowhere out of your house, but you have to stay there and work it out. It's a complete different different thing. Some people got worse for it, some people got better for it. You getting what I'm saying,
That's a
Vita?
point. Stick up in there, Jody. Stick up in there, Jody. And Vita, that's what we're talking about earlier about the lockdown. And with Dion when she was here earlier, that the lockdown period, there might be effect of it in the future. We're looking at it from a negative. But what you're saying, Jody, is that there was a positive aspect where people actually found themselves.
I do.
Yeah.
On a spiritual
Yeah.
level, because
Yeah.
I was locked down for days by myself, like almost 2 years. I was, for the first, I think March, April, May, June, I stayed in my house, and it was a spiritual awakening for me as far as knowing me more, getting to realize who I am more, because I was going. I was studying, work, school, back home, and that's it. I get to see me, the spiritual side. And they said we are spiritual being in human body,
We're all
but
spiritual beings, yes.
we always see that. So I was a happy person before COVID, but I realized that event, but I started to love me more as far as understanding me, that I was hiding a
Is
part.
that because of the crown effect as well?
Well, that have a lot something to do with it too, because the crowd bring out the real me sometimes, Jody. You know that after dark. But the fact, but the fact is that there was one point in life where, Jody, the after show that we have, you would have never ever get me speak like that. You would have never me expressing myself like that, because I would not do it. Whether in public or private. So if I was living with someone at that time, that would have been a rude awakening for them to see me expressing myself in certain way, and decided that now. A matter of fact, when lockdown, I started to relish in my culture more. I started to understand Jamaica more and my Jamaican culture. Certain things that growing up, you could never hear me use a curse word growing up. Never. And then, no, it's a culture thing. People out there are begging me to say it. People are buying the book to learn how to speak it. People are coming up to me asking, what does this mean? And I am denying that. I'm denying the cultural part of me, the spiritual part of me, the way I was brought up. So now I realize that, so yes, there is the corporate side of me where I have to behave. And we are all, it doesn't matter who you are, you act according to where you are. When you're at a function and it's a Jamaican, you are Jamaican. If you're at a corporate America, whatever, you act accordingly. So what you do, you have to know you and how you behave in certain situations. And that is what we need to learn ourselves. We need to start meditate and go back into the spiritual side of us and find the real person that we are. And that's the mental part that a lot of us is lacking right now. So I applaud you for that. Go, Silver.
No, Jody, I was just, when you finished, I was putting back to Jody because I had stopped her at one point. Jody, you're not frozen? I thought I heard like a call was coming in for you, Jody.
No, she's moving.
Yeah. So I'm all right.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking is that, maybe, and I said this before the end of COVID, that our governments need to look at way in which to fund mental health program more efficiently and effectively, and make people feel like there's a sense of security. I give you a situation that was really appalling to me. A couple of weeks ago, I think it was probably in last month, there was a young man across from my school in the park, right, behaving abnormally. We've there are a couple of us at the office because we have an office, the upper floor we can see over on the park and over to the beach side, right? And we see him from time to time go there listening to his music. Every once in a while, we'd call to him and say, hi, how you doing? And then this one day, we just heard screams and shouting and a whole lot of things. I was like, that don't sound normal. So we all started looking outside, and this guy was behaving erotic and irrational. So we all got concerned. So we start calling people now who we think might know somebody who is related to him. When it got down to it, we called down the mental health department because I knew the head of the mental health department. She said she was not at work, but she gave me the number for another mental health officer who was there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we called her, and when we called her, she was saying, oh, we don't have any transportation right now, we must call the police. I said, this is not a police case, this is a mental health situation. Shouldn't we be calling the ambulance oh, something is wrong with the windscreen of the bus and we won't be able to. So, all right, fine. I call somebody that I know does community outreach or WhatsApp them and said, guess what? There's a situation that I need help. But I don't feel like calling the police station directly because I think they may take the situation differently, right?
Yes.
Anyway, when I spoke to them, he says to me, call back the mental health department because they know the procedure. They are the ones who have to contact us and say, okay, let the police escort you there. But they, as the police, because it is obvious that it may be a mental health issue, they need to be there. And we were back and forth with these people for an hour, right? Eventually, we did not get through to anybody, You know what ended up happening? We got through to his mother and a family friend, and they end up coming. They couldn't calm him down either. We got two young men who volunteered to walk with him to the station because we could not get him into a car. This is walking distance to the police station and to the hospital, and we could get no help. We said mental health, and it became an issue. No help at all from the public hospital, which was walking distance from where we were. And if these two young men didn't volunteer to say, all right, let us see if we can calm him down and walk with him down to the police station along with one of my staff that was there, because he was very concerned and he walked with him down there. And with the mother, she was distraught. When we got down to it, Vita, he went to work, got in an altercation with somebody at work, right? He decided that he was coming home to write a resignation letter because he was being treated unfairly. Then he decided, all right, let me take a walk on the beach. And the man go buy a spliff. After smoking the spliff, he went
Kaput.
KY, which is exactly what happened. He did not know how to manage his stress. But what I'm saying is the support system is what I'm getting at, is very weak. Because if it was, I figure more like, what if it was me? What if I was going crazy? What if I threatened to jump off a building? What if it was a relative of mine? What if it is somebody else? And we are calling the healthcare facility that is supposed to be in charge of this, that has an emergency line, that if there is a mental health issues, we should call them. And them I tell we to call the police, and the police I tell we to call them. And I'm back and forth for a whole hour. So if it's somebody who went go jump, then go jump and kill themselves.
There is, Jody. There is lines that I was trying to find a number. But I know that I have gotten it. There's
no, but what I'm saying, Vita, is we have a line that we used and it was not effective.
So that means that they need more training as far as with the mental health situation. But I know that there are numbers that they're really working on in Jamaica, because I was doing a research and I got the numbers. I got the and I was trying to find it. But here
the ones on the Ministry of Health website work.
Okay. And I know you have some other ones, like if you're in the district, like whatever city you're in, there is a number to call in that area. So,
and that's what I'm saying. That's the number I called. I called the mental health department.
Jody, what do you think then is the solution then? Because this is something we have been talking about for a while.
I think we're too callous. I think we're too callous as healthcare workers sometimes, and we become lazy. I'm not even gonna put me in that. I'm not even gonna say we, because I know I'm not lazy. But some of them in the system are very lazy and they don't take these matters seriously.
I want to use the word lazy. because what happens is that I've been in the medical field for almost 30 years, and there is a burnt out.
I was going to talk about that, Vita, because you highlighted some difficulty people are having.
There is a burnt out, Jody. There is a burnt out where
Vita, you're talking about US. We're talking about Jamaica here.
But it's Jody. People are people. Doesn't matter where you are.
Vita.
All right. Yes.
Talking about the US. This is Jamaica.
So they're burnt out.
Burnout. Wouldn't Jamaica have more burnout, Jody?
No, they have burnouts. But let me tell you something. The system is lazy, and the people in the system are lazy.
So that's training. That's training. So Jody, so what happened is that what I'm hearing from you then is that there need to be a revamp of the system and retrain.
Oh, yes, that I agree with.
That situation right there shows that is the lack of education, the lack of training how to deal with. And Jamaica have never been the forefront for mental health. So that need a lot of training as far as these people need to train. And Jody, I don't know if you want to send me some information, whereas I would love to see if I could be a part of helping to build this structure in Jamaica and see if we can push it a little further and just say, you know what, they are lazy, let's let it be. I would love to see if who can I reach out to and said, look, this is a situation right here. We cannot ignore it. Jody,
Christopher,
But
it's
that's the same thing that happened in
Christopher
Oviedo.
was listening a while ago. And he came on to my live on my Instagram, Christopher, a moment ago. So and, you know, I don't like to. He's gone now, but sometimes it is his people. But just to let you know, yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that came up from this whole situation to Vita, my students were in class. The evening class was going on. Everybody in my evening class was concerned about it. You know, they were just a little bit annoyed at the fact that there is a response system. We reached out to the response system, and it wasn't a matter of not having the right resources in my mind. It was just somebody deciding not to do their work or not
right.
even show interest. Because to this day, that nurse that I called and spoke to, who was on duty through the hotline, she never called back to find out if we got help. She never, you know, the gentleman
And
was
Jody,
brought to the emergency room by strangers, and there was no follow up. You understand?
and
And
you
these
see,
are the things that make us go to the point where we're saying, all right, students are saying to me, if this was another situation, how would we deal with it? How do I answer that?
well, see, Jody, that's where you can make a difference. So, I hope there's not another situation like that. But what you can do is do the documentation, because what happened is that if it's a bigger picture, if you have to go above that nurse or above that person, you need to know the documentation. Maybe that day, who know, maybe she was having a mental breakdown. Who know, maybe she was having a personal situation. And if that's not the case and it's just lazy, then they need to retrain and maybe she needs to find a different place to work. There's a bigger picture at all times. Maybe their situation, they're not trained to deal with this mental situation as far as what happened. But you who know better can make a difference to say, and this day at this time I spoke with this person and this happened. How can we make this better? Maybe she need training. That's a good teaching for your staff to say, this is what you do not do. So there you go.
Yeah.
That was a positive side of that.
Jody, I know this is not your area of profession, but at the same time, you tend to always pick up on it a lot, isn't it?
That is true. It's because of my own personal passion towards mental health.
Yes. So
And
so
it's
so
go ahead.
therefore maybe we have to dig into this a bit more because yeah, Jody, we started the show talking about the incident in the US, in the UK
Yeah.
here, where the young man killed the four persons, and we're talking about triggers. And Gary mentioned it's an attitude thing. Some are saying it's mental health. I spoke to somebody and say, I know mental health, him just bad because the girl said to him, I'm going to leave you. And he said, hey, come and tell it to my face. She tell it to him face, him kill her. Stab her 12 times, cut her throat. Kill the grandmother coming down the stairs, kill her partner, kill the sister. The other sister who was there left because she's a health worker. She was called into work or she would have dead as well. Jody, the question was the triggers, right? Is it just a madman, a bad man? You know?
Silburn,
Yeah.
you as a man,
Mm.
and someone saying, you know what, Silburn, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, so therefore I'm gonna leave. Tell me what about that would make you want to kill that person? If it's not a mental behavioral health. If it's not mental, why would you want to kill the person? Why do you think you own that person?
Yeah, it's a mental disorder. I think we
I
have to.
am a mother.
It's a
I am a
disorder.
mother. And I do not own my children.
Yeah.
I am a mother. I do not own my children. I am the vessel where my children were brought into this universe. And therefore, they are now living their life as adults, having their children who they do not own. What makes you think you own me?
Yeah.
If it's that mental that you think that you own me, is that mental situation?
It is very much mental.
That's a
You know,
problem. It's
and
damaged.
where did it,
It's
you know,
mentally
one of the things
damaged.
it could be coming from, Vito. You know,
I
that's
think I
the
think
other
Gary
thing.
should have come on the show and explained, but he's saying no, no, no. But keep
Who?
talking, guys. Gary, Reverend Gary Graham.
Okay.
Maybe he need to really just intervene. Maybe that's what the guy need.
Mm. Jody, you're saying, Jody.
No, I'm just saying it is a mental issue. Whether it's either way you take it, whether you want to think it's spiritually or whatever, it is still mental. I mean, for your thought process to think that the only avenue out of this is to murder people. You know, in Jamaica, we've had situations where they kill the partner and then turn around and kill themselves. That is mental health.
Yes, Jordan. And my question is that why don't you just kill yourself? Why you have to bother kill the partner? Just go kill yourself. Why?
And, and the funny thing about it is that normally say if you don't catch Quacker, you catch him shot. But you catch Quacker and you catch all you're going for the shots as well. You know what I mean?
He must have been possessed by something, honestly, to just go through. You kill the gun, just turn around and kill everybody else.
But another thing, Jordan, is that when I was in my 20s, I think I could conquer the world. At this age, I know I can. But when you are that young, the world is in front of you. You are the king, the queen of your world. There is so much the future in front of you in your 20s. I mean, the energy that you have and the way you think about life, like you control the world and you know everything. So for a 20-something to think that, I have to kill somebody because they don't want to be with, to me, it's your loss. Let me go find two more to replace you. At that age, you are so much into yourself and so vain. And only get better as you get older, Jody. But
As I said, you don't even know the thought process behind what he did. So that's another thing we'd have to get into his head to understand. But it is a mental health issue, whether we
it
want to
is.
deal with it
I
or not.
agree. I totally
But
agree. All the
He
years,
went
I
to
agree.
court.
I'm
He
gonna
went to
have to
court.
run, guys.
He went to court
Because
and he gave them the gun
Jody,
signal.
before you go,
Yeah, sorry,
yes, darling.
I'm so sorry, but I want Jody to touch on Kamina before she go.
Kamina Johnson.
Oh, I have no comments.
No, you must
Jody.
you must have a comment. You must have a comment.
Oh, there's my girl.
You
There's
must
my
have a
girl.
comment, Jody.
Come on, Jody. She's a
Okay,
brilliant,
okay,
educated
okay.
attorney. Come on, Jody.
Okay, let me break it down. Let me break it down, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's
This is
let's
second
let's
part. Wait. This is the second part of the show, which I was going to do, whereby Kamina Johnson is running to be the Secretary General for the Commonwealth Secretariat, and Baroness Scotland, who has been there for 4 years, it was extended for 2 years because of COVID, so she's there for 6 years. Baroness Scotland says she wants to be there for the next 4 years. She sent a message through now saying, "Kamina, stand down." And now I was actually apprehensive before supporting Kamina, but boy, once you touch that bit about stand down, a Jamaican come out now and we say I'm supporting Kamina all the way. Jody, what's your take on this?
All right. You know that I have my when it comes on to certain things in terms of politics, and politics, it has nothing to do with parties. Um
Beautiful.
more what me can say. Um Honestly, Silburn, I'm
Yeah,
gonna tell you the truth. I always say that when it comes to women, we should always see the potential in terms of leadership and qualification versus making it an emotional issue. And
yeah,
that's the part of it that annoys the hell out of me. When it moves from just being qualified for the job, um, being a leader in your own right, and then saying to another woman, hey, I don't think you're as good as me, so stay where you
there's the
are.
leader.
You know what I mean?
There you go. There you go.
Um, so I think when it comes to we have to be very careful with this, and I don't want other women to get me wrong when I say this, Silburn, but if our men would just for some areas be Jody-Marie, be careful of your words.
Choose your word carefully,
All right,
but
Reverend,
be,
Reverend to talk.
Yeah.
Reverend to talk.
be
Reverend
you,
to talk.
Jody. Speak your mind. Nobody can hurt you. I got your back, girl.
All right, this is my point, right? Honestly, there are certain leadership roles that I believe if a male is in there, it gives a different effect, right? I went to all girls school. I went to college to university with women, and I am in a career that is led by women. And one of the things that hurts our career or profession very much is the fact that many times our career doesn't go to the level that it needs to go in, because for generations upon generations upon generations, it's been women who have been in charge, and when they're in charge, they tend to make their emotions take over leadership roles rather than take it a step further to be on par with women, and that's why in some professions males are paid more than women even though they're equally qualified. I'm not bashing women, but I'm just saying that sometimes we need to set our standard a little bit above and do not let it become about um the chat tree and the emotions. Just take it
Jody,
out of it.
Jody, I don't know what
um
you're saying. You're saying something, but you're not saying it.
Jody, are you saying that you prefer a male to be in that role? Are you saying that the ceiling that we are
no,
kicking
I'm
down?
saying let's take the position differently. Let's not make it about of, you know, let's not make it, let it be a professional, let it be
Jody,
a professional argument.
she's an attorney. She's educated. She had led Jamaica. If you're saying she haven't been doing her work, then say it. But the fact is that this is an educated woman who have shown over the world representing Jamaica in a professional, educated way. So are you saying that she should go for something else and step down?
Those are not the words I want to say, Vito, but
Right, but that's not the words, but that's what you're saying.
In essence,
have a good evening, ladies. I think if I have liquor in my system, it's best to talk about these issues. But I don't really want to comment on this because
Okay,
it's going
Jody,
to
and we
become a
respect you.
political
We
issue
respect.
if I talk about it.
All right, and we respect your opinion, Jody, and we understand what you're saying, and that you are still in Jamaica, we are not. So therefore, there are certain things based on your where you are and what you're doing and your role in Jamaica. So we have to respect that. However, as an educated woman from Jamaica, representing Jamaica, I am very, very respectful to Kamina. And I met her and I respect her. And I must say
This is
that
my point, Vito. She fits the criteria, right?
Mhm.
But what I'm getting is that it's not her qualification that is being judged.
Well, I'm not in Jamaica, so I don't know as I said, when that woman that been there, and I no disrespect, but she's been there for 4 years, and now there's not a two because of COVID 6 years. It's time for her to stand down. It's time for Kamina because the situation is that she have shown herself. I don't know the personal part of her, what she's doing in Jamaica. I am not in Jamaica, but what I have seen so far, I am very proud of Kamina. I am very proud to say, as another Jamaican woman, and the level that she's going right now, I must say that I respect that, and I feel good for that. And as a woman that have broken the ceiling, to the glass ceiling, to say there is no limitation, especially as a Jamaican woman. I am
Right.
very proud of that. I am very, Jody, just like how I'm so proud of you, that's the same way I feel about Kamina, to say, you know what, you make me proud. And I'm going to do my part here to make you proud too. So the fact that another woman from another country going to tell me to stand down, whatever I can do to campaign for Kamina, I'm going to do it because I respect that fact. Whatever they're judging her from, I have learned in corporate America to put emotion aside. Right?
Yeah.
Emotion doesn't work. As a female, when I walk into the boardroom, I have to go with data. I have to go with numbers. I have to show that I know what I'm talking about. I cannot go in there with emotions. I don't even wear a dress to go to work no more. I wear a suit because a pantsuit, because the fact is that as a woman, as a black woman, I have to prove myself 10 times more than my counterpart, 10 times more than a man. And that's why I respect Kamina. That's why I respect the fact, the way that she go out as a professional Jamaican woman, I respect that. And I'm always going to support her for that. And just the way the class and the professionalism that she showed as far as across the world as a Jamaican, very proud of her.
Yeah, that is very true, Vita, and I will agree with that 100%.
and there I'm with the lady in question, where we had a very good interview at the Jamaica High Commission a few years ago, with the minister there. I think
I have to exit now, though, guys.
Okay, Jody. Okay,
Jody,
Jody.
it was a pleasure. Jody, we talk later.
All right, darling.
Okay. Take care, Jody. Yeah. Okay. It is good that I have that image there, Vita, because I was a bit apprehensive of Jamaica pushing for that position.
Why,
The
Silver?
reason I was apprehensive was because my view was that, hey, we're coming out of we say we're coming out of the Babylon system with the Queen, and then we are getting entangled again with the relics of the colonial masters.
Okay.
Uh, so that was my sort of view. And in my interview with Delano Franklin last week, I also emphasized that. So it was more of a principled position for myself, not anything to do with qualifications or ability. Because I met the lady and I interviewed her, and she's an elegant.
Yes.
I know her father very well. He was my good friend, Ambassador Johnson. Love singing, just, and but what sort of turned or changed my mind now was when I heard what Barney Scotland said, was saying it is normal or it's by convention, something of that nature, whereby the incumbent goes for 2 terms. And I hate that. It happens with political parties when they do some back dealings beforehand, not trying to allow the democratic process to work. And when I heard that, I said, if there's any way I can now campaign for Kamina Johnson Smith, I will. Just like how you said that there. Because I don't like that. I don't like when somebody's trying to say to me to stand down. It is a democratic position. It is one that you can go by voting. I don't think it is right. I don't think Jamaica should be doing that. I think Jamaica should really be, if you're gonna come out of the Queen, just come out of it and run and just leave the Commonwealth, leave all of those. I believe the Commonwealth is a failed organization. I don't believe it's having a great substance. Personally speaking, that's just my personal view. Um, but I don't agree with what the Barney Scotland says, and I think what is happening is that the UK and I think Canada and Australia is not behind Barney Scotland because of some sort of corruption and blah blah blah. And I believe that may be something that is pushing Jamaica to go for that role there. My other concern is that Christopherson has just been appointed for some Commonwealth Health Forum to chair. Um, Kamina Johnson is going for the Commonwealth Secretariat. Nigel Clark has just been in some health, some financial position international, and also Doug Vaz is also chairing some other organization. And I start to say to myself, okay, I know about the brilliance of our Jamaicans, and it's great, but who are on the country now? The time and that effort. And the Prime Minister now is in Philadelphia. I'm just saying that it's great. Jamaica's great, brilliant, brilliant. We're brilliant people, but the country is maybe suffering as a result.
Wow, Silburn. Um, I just got a text from someone in Jamaica, and
Yes.
his question to me, he was trying to come on and he could not get on, and he was
Why?
saying,
Why you can't come on?
and he
What's
was saying that he just texted me and he was saying that one of the situation was that the lady that's now running in the Secretary of State in the position is doing some great work in Pan American, and she's making a difference in the black community across the world.
Barney Scotland?
Yes, and
Okay.
she's making a difference, and that what the progress that she's making with changing of seat might change the whole curriculum of what is going on across the
Yeah.
nation. I don't know the details, but I'm going to go back, but to be continued. And Silbert, I want to throw something out there, and you might think I'm out of place, and tell me after the show, not on the show, if you think so.
Yes.
But what I would like to ask the audience is that every week we come up with a different topic. Is there some topics that they would like us to talk about? That they want to send us and said, hey, why don't you guys approach this? And Tilbert, if you think I'm out of place, let me know after the show. Not now.
No, you can't be out of place. You're a Veta.
so sometimes
Go for it. Say what you're saying.
so
You're part of the
sometimes
team.
we will pick topics that we want to talk about. But as the audience, you are always there with us, and Scotty and all those D and all those people that's always been with us. If there's a topic that you think that we can definitely touch on and talk about, send us an email or whatever the case. Put it in the chat and let us know that, guys, why don't you approach this? Hey, everything is more funnier when it's with Crown. So send us topics that you would like us to talk about as far as to bring on the show. because sometimes there's some topics that might you guys might think is important. We can't think for you, but we talk about what's current or what we feel like it's fun or to address. So send us the topic and let us know what you would like us to talk about. Sometimes it's about you, sometimes it's all about me, but not all the time. But
no, that's a brilliant idea to engage and for people to actually send questions in and to because I will think of the topic. You and I will discuss it, and we say, okay, we believe this is something. Because tonight we were going to talk about Elon Musk, um, that other bit there, Barnes Scotland and Kamina Johnson, and the whole issue regarding mental health. But the mental health one, as we can see, because Diane, for argument's sake, does my thumbnail, and she does all these different graphics. And when she sent the thumbnail to me today, I said, no, don't do the thumbnail for this show yet, because we may focus on something more and not the three topics. And the thumbnail for this one is going to be really about mental health, because
yes,
that's where the focus was on. And therefore, we may have these ideas. And when I start the show and I do my little opening, but then something may be the trigger and you can't just run from it, because that is the ethos of the show. So
right,
there are many different topics and many different things. And one of the things which is lacking, ladies and gentlemen, is that I'm short of Canadians. I just realized that we have no Canadian that come on the show. Wayne Ferron was here earlier on Instagram. He's supposed to come on, and a couple other persons from Canada. We need to make sure we widen the whole diaspora link. You got you in USA, Oneil in USA, Leicester in Netherlands. I don't know what is happening there. I think the Netherlands has shut him down. Leicester keep getting shut down and being going prison. I noticed he was in prison again from
yes,
Facebook.
he just came out of Facebook prison.
Yeah, so maybe I don't know. Maybe there's some link with this.
We'll find out.
We'll find out, you know. But yes, Vita, that's a good point there, and we hope for persons to do that, you know.
Yes, do that so we can address more situations and have a nice sip and talk with you. And of course, when you come on to us, make sure when you come with what you're drinking. I always have my crown as far as, to make it more spicy. And, it's good that we have Reverend in the background praying for Silburn.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a lot of you got the prayer support. You got Dee with the background support.
Yeah.
Lester there trying to come on and making sure Jody ensuring that our mental health is intact, and Gary, as Gary just said, and we got the Holy Spirit.
Yes. Always have the Spirit with us. So thank you. So Tiger Silburn, it's always a pleasure to, hang out with you and talk with you. And Reverend, I have maximum respect for you. And we'll see you Thursday. Guys, there's also a show on Thursday. And Silburn have a lot of show going on. You have show on Thursday, you have show on Saturday, Thursday, every day, it's Silburn. Yeah. Motivational walk and talk and so and Jody have this things the after dark show of calling me wherever I'm at and said, hey, let's talk. It's very uncensored, guys, so you never know what will come out in the spirit. Sometimes the spirit take my tongue and speak, Reverend, so it's not me. I'm just letting you know it's the spirit.
It's not named, so it's like a talk and sip extra.
Right. So
uncensored.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, whatever the spirit brings up will come up. But guys, it was a pleasure, Silburn, and as always, it's a pleasure to be with you. And you all have a good evening and enjoy your weekend and stay spiritual.
Okay, well, Gary, listen, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining tonight. It was a great show. Thank you, Vita. Thank you, Jody. Lester, I don't know what happened there and why we couldn't get hold of you for some reason. Let's hope it can be resolved. Very important as a valued person and on the team. Gary, enough respect. Scotty, Dee, and everybody else. Thank you so much. Remember to like and subscribe to the show. And as what Vita said earlier, if any topics or so that you have, feel free to send it in, and you can send it in straight here, which is there's the email address, Facebook, um, you know, the website as well, Twitter, all of them, Silver and TV. You can reach out to that. Have a good night. God bless you. Peace out. And as I always say normally, boom.